Recording, you sure?
Yeah, we're going. It says on the bottom right there.
Oh, there you go.
They said, what do they say in Hollywood?
What's up, everybody? My name is Big Skoom.
John the Don here, and this is Skoom Speech.
Welcome, guys. Welcome. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. By the time this is coming out, it's about to be Christmas. Tyler, say Merry Christmas to Skoom Nation.
Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope everyone's blessed and feeling well. Their loved ones are feeling better. Well, carry on.
Yeah, I got some queued up stuff for today. We're going to get religious again. Everyone's favorite subject. Certainly mine. And it's not even really religious. This is for Tyler. I'm not here to combat all the niceties, right? I usually like to say before we talk about religion. Ready? Did Jesus, right? We're going to take the Jesus stuff literal. I'm not a Bible scholar. I don't know much about the Bible. Hopefully Tyler knows more about it than I do.
We can hope so. Let's find out. I've been taking a lot of Bible class lately.
Did Jesus have social pressure?
I don't think so.
Tyler says he doesn't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
For context, here's what I kind of mean by that.
Yeah, let us know. But, yeah, my first answer is quickly, I don't think so. Because he's Jesus.
I don't know much about the stories, but, right, apparently he was performing miracles, right? And I hear people would travel really far to try to have them perform a miracle, like cure their blindness or something like that, right? People would travel really far, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So what I'm getting at is was there maybe or possibly some sort of social pressure to perform, right? Yeah. Oh, Jesus, I just traveled 2,000 miles by foot or by camel or whatever. My dying aunt is blind and, we just really want you to cure her with, your miracle. I mean, is that not social pressure? This is interesting, is it not?
Yeah, but not for, super interesting indeed. Definitely thought-provoking. I like to deep it. But, I don't think for Jesus. Do you think he ever turned people away?
That's exactly what I'm getting at. I'm glad you brought that up.
Because I don't know.
I'm glad you brought that up.
I don't know Jesus, guys.
Yeah. That's why I love bringing stuff to Tyler, because, for example, right, he said no, right? He said no. I bring up a point, which I think might be pretty good, and now he instead of just dogmatically staying on his no, he just is super open, and even more so, he's I would almost call that kind of a critical statement he made. And, so he could just be critical about his own beliefs.
Yeah.
Which is so rare nowadays, or just in general, and even more so with religion. So, and we're going to get to that.
Okay.
But, because now I feel right, you shouldn't go into something that could be an argument or debate to look to win, right? They say that?
No, I definitely agree.
I do, personally. And so just with what Tyler said, I'm all right, well, I have the chance to win this because I can see that he's open. So if he's open, and I make good points, I could potentially, I shouldn't say win, but whatever.
Persuade me into atheism.
No, I'm not. I mean, so you said not for Jesus, right? Let's get the context again.
I don't think that Jesus fell victim of social pressure.
Well, hold up. So, the context is, me and my family just walked through a desert to come see you, for you to hopefully heal my grandma, because she's blind. You said, not for Jesus. That's not social pressure for Jesus. And I'm assuming you said that because you imagine him as, this great person. The average person would probably feel social pressure.
Right.
But him, he wouldn't.
Yeah, right.
That's
I think that miracles for him would come as if it's something natural,
So whether he felt pressure or not in that scenario, does that negate the fact that still is social pressure or not? I mean, well, first,
sure.
Objectively,
that's objective for sure. But I could definitely say this. Well, I would say it's not objective; it's subjective, because. Let's deep this.
Well, hold up, because I'm working something here.
Okay, yeah, no.
So
you carry on.
So
we'll follow your script.
So right. I'm totally indoctrinating Tyler to my way of thinking. Not really, because he's a free thinking.
Guys, we're just teasing.
But
we're teasing.
I am teasing.
Watch this and then be like, "Oh man, he's trying to persuade him." But guys,
I am teasing.
Guys, I'm a lot stronger than that. I'm not going to let's do a few things and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to change the way that I think and live forever." It's not that, and you shouldn't be like that either.
I am teasing, but there is something here, or something not right or wrong, but something thought-provoking, like you said.
And that's all we're here for.
Exactly.
That's what we're here for. Skoom speech.
So let's see if we can agree. You agree that just that in itself could be perceived as social pressure.
Because he has miracles to uphold, which he's done already, so why stop and turn people away? That's what I think.
Before you get philosophical and flip the script on me, to sum it up, are you saying that you do agree that could be perceived as social pressure?
Sure. Perceived, indeed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Tyler, we know that you can cut and drop the biggest, best trees in Connecticut, so we come to you. Social pressure for sure. I could definitely see how that could build up.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't think that Jesus experienced it that way.
I wouldn't disagree.
Okay, fine.
But it sounds like the fact is that is social pressure. Whether he felt that way or not, he may not have felt like it was, which you can make the argument because he didn't feel that way. To him, it wasn't social pressure, but objectively speaking, it is.
Because if you know the best baker in your town and you're like, hey, there's a baking contest coming up, I want you to put in and enter the best pie or cake you can bake. That would then be putting them on a social pressure standpoint of, oh man, my neighborhood or whatever knows I make, and I take this pride in baking and everything. So they've come to me, and now if I let them down, cooked.
Exactly.
Not even baked.
Yeah. So, that's why I brought up objectivity. So objectively speaking, we could fairly say, regardless of how Jesus felt, because how he feels about it would have made it a subjective opinion.
Yep.
But objectively, regardless of how he felt,
yes,
there was and that is social pressure.
Yep.
Perfect.
I could agree.
So now I would break it to what you brought it to. Did Jesus tell people no? Obviously, I don't know.
I wouldn't think so. But I could be wrong.
I love that.
Yeah.
He probably, I don't know. Maybe he did.
I never met that guy. I don't know. The only time I've ever met him, he was on a cross in the front of my church. Holy smokes.
I love that. I love this and I love that. And again, this is why I love Tyler.
Yeah. I would like to think not. I would like to believe not.
Perfect.
He didn't turn people away.
Perfect.
But I don't really know that. So if I just blatantly said that, and then you find it somewhere that he did turn one person away that had measles or smallpox or whatever, then I was wrong. Now I'm a liar. Don't do that to me.
So we'll talk hypothetically, and then we'll quickly get off this topic because I'm going to make some negative claims here about this whole thing. If he never told anybody no, I mean, it's like two sides of the coin to that, right? Sure. One could be, that comes from a place of strength, right? Indeed. Because he knew he could do it.
Yep.
He's exercising his power. He can do it, so he chose to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But the other side of the coin is, potentially, hypothetically, he potentially never said no out of weakness.
That's true, too.
Of course that's true.
Yeah. Because it hurts you personally turning people away.
I would agree. I mean, I agree.
Have you had anybody ask you, hey, can you wash my car? And then you're like, no, I can't wash your car. Then later on that day, you lay down, whatever, just go on about your day, like, man, I could have washed that person's car, and I just did it, and now I'm a dick. I don't think that Jesus would ever really have to go through that kind of emotion, because I don't think he'd turn people away.
So, we're basically going to move off the subject, but sure. What I could leave Tyler with, where you maybe could kind of see what kind of things I look into on my free time. Now, if you were to think about that, like, okay, Jesus was not saying no from a place of weakness. I think that's something to. I think that's very interesting. I think that's very, very, very interesting.
I would use the word admirable. Even if you don't want to clean your room and your mom says go clean your room, you're still going to clean your room. Is that because you're weak and she's stronger than you, or is that because you respect her and then you're going to do what she desires you to do?
I love that. Right. It almost doesn't relate though because Well, I guess it kind of does. Yeah, I guess it kind
Definitely
of does.
would.
Because if you say yeah,
Sure.
like you said, like mom says, go clean your room. You could either be saying yeah because you're weak and you don't want to be combative with your mother,
Sure.
or because you love and respect her.
Sure.
So that relates
Well,
to Jesus not saying no because
He
either
loves
he
and
could say
respects
no,
you.
either because he could say no because he's weak, or he could be saying no because he loves and respects you.
Sure.
So that's a pretty good metaphor.
Yeah, and it also brought me real quick to. Never mind. We'll move on. Carry on with what you got.
Okay, so we're off that, guys. Let's get fun.
Yeah.
So it's clear that your ambitions blind you. It's clear. Now, I say clear because there's this like the famous experiment where they're like, all right, you're gonna watch this video. You know, your job is to watch how many times the black team in Jersey's black pass the ball between each other. And then you're doing that, and then I guess apparently halfway through the video, a guy in a monkey suit comes out, and he like beats on his chest and leaves. And at the end of the video, they're like, oh, like, how many times did they pass the basketball? And you're like, oh, I think they passed it 15. And they're like, oh, well, did you see the big monkey coming in the middle of the screen? And they're
No.
like, what? Yeah,
Yeah,
like, what? No.
this, yeah.
So experiments like that prove that your ambitions and your goals and desires blind you.
Objectives.
Yeah, they blind you to
Yeah.
reality.
I agree with that. And I agree with that to the personal point too of this. I have personal goals, and depending on how my day goes, I'll decide if I'm gonna block everything out today and just hone in on my personal goal and then get today over with.
Yeah.
Or if I'm going to be more socially active and maybe talking to more people or whatever. But yeah, definitely. I agree. My objective, no matter what, is always up here, but depending on how things around me are going, I'll focus on that even more so just to get me through the day or whatever it might be. So I definitely agree with that anyway.
Well, that's exactly where I was going to bring it to. I was going to
that's
bring
interesting.
it. Yep, I was going to bring it exactly to personal goals. So,
Sure,
like,
sure.
seeing how we know this, right?
Mhm.
I've known this for a good amount of time, but hearing it expressed in that one kind of sentence really made me think about it more. And what it makes me think about is like, all right, should I take a step back from my goals and ambitions like so strongly because I'm missing a lot of the world?
Interesting. That's literally on the opposite side of the spectrum of what I was going with.
Well,
Yeah,
here, let me give some more context.
Sure.
Like,
sure.
and it kind of goes to some of my other points, but I've really been struggling, and we've talked about this other podcast. I've really been struggling with. I've been so singly focused on like one thing.
Yep.
And with that quote, I know that I'm missing so much of the world,
Yeah.
right? Living in the moment type moments,
Yeah.
the beauty of grass and blue sky, just all the stuff I'm missing. So now,
Because you're go to this one objective.
yes.
Yeah.
So now I've been thinking, like, oh man, like, you know, how do I fix that? How does anyone fix that?
That's a very good question. I think that's a very personal question because it really depends on, well,
Well, it's not personal. No matter who you are, if you're
well,
focused,
is there, well, I would say it's personal because is there only one thing in your life that you need to change or alter to get a different outcome on your day-to-day basis? Everyone's one thing that they could alter could be much different.
well, that part's true, but regardless of who you are, your ambition is blinding you.
Okay.
With
can
that
agree with that.
knowledge, well, yeah, with that knowledge, what can you do about that? The only thing I could think is to maybe take just a couple steps back from the ambition,
Okay.
so I could see and have and experience the world differently, better, happier, whatever.
Sure.
I mean, like,
You definitely got me stumped on
well,
this
it's
one.
like, yeah, how are you going to move forward in your life tomorrow? Now that, like, for example, you've already knew this, but now that you know that you are being blinded to the world because of your ambitions, how are you personally going to handle that? Are you just going to continue to just do that and be blind to a lot of the world, or are you going to try to do something about it, or what can you do, or I guess maybe just being blind is a good thing, because of course it is sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. But, I don't know, my days vary so much that there is not just one thing to hone in on and go with. You know, like,
Well,
3 times a week I go to church and I go to work and everything else, you know, but I live very close to a lot of family and things like that. So I hear the scoop on what is going on in family on a regular basis. I hear what's going on in the world around me, not from what I might take in on my personal time, but of what family or whatever might tell me what's going on in the outer world.
I'm going to combat you real quick.
Sure.
I'm feeling philosophical tonight.
Yeah.
You said, what you basically said was, I don't have a singular focus. In a nutshell, is kind of what you were saying.
I agree with that.
Here's where I combat you. I would argue, because I know you pretty well, I know you're a goal-oriented person.
Yeah.
I know you're working towards your goals, and I know that instant gratification you've left in the childhood.
Yeah.
So the point I'm about to make is, whatever the couple things that you are doing, since I know you, I'd make the argument that they all are tied or leaded or umbrellaed under one thing. So let's say you spend some of the time at church, you spend some of the time at family, you spend some of the time at work, and you spend some of the time reading.
Sure.
I would argue that what all of those have in common is one thing and one goal. So the argument I'm making, would you agree? That's where it's kind of philosophical.
Well, I guess if they all tied in only one thing, it would only be knowledge.
I would,
because why do I read, and then why do I go to church, and then why do I listen to people around me? It's because I'm curious. I want to know more about everything.
I would combat you more on that, and I would say, well, why?
Exactly. Well,
Exactly.
Exactly.
Well,
That's
why?
a good question. I don't know why.
Exactly. So I know the answer.
Maybe it's distracting of everything else.
I know the answer.
Maybe something that I'm not achieving personally right now.
No.
I don't know.
No, Tyler's
no
wrong. I know Tyler more than Tyler. I know Tyler more than Tyler knows Tyler. Guys, I'm on my game right now. I'm on my game.
I left the why questions for 5-year-olds.
I'm on my game right
I
now.
don't ask why very often.
So, looks like I was making any good points with that. All right, good. I don't know if I'm rambling or getting too philosophical or just being talking in circles.
No, I'm keeping up.
So,
I don't know if they are. Y'all better rewind this.
so first I'll answer it and then we'll divulge.
Okay.
So first, what Tyler is trying to get to is to be a good person.
Okay, sure.
That's what all these are trying to answer
See,
to.
he knew me better than I know.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Why
about
does-
being a good person?
Why does Tyler want to get knowledge? Because he'll make him feel like a better person.
Sure.
Why does he want to go to church? It'll make him feel like he's a better person. Why does he want to work? So he could get money to feel like a better person.
Sure. I guess
So-
it was just to become a better person.
So
Or
all
wisdom or whatever you could call it, but yeah.
So all the stuff that he's doing is for one goal. So I bring all this up because his main argument to this was that, hey, I'm not doing... Because remember how this started was being blinded by your ambition, and I talked
Sure.
about singularly focusing on one ambition blinds you to the rest.
Yeah.
So even though he's doing different things, there's still all one ambition that he's heading for, be a good person, which is still also blinding him from the world in a way.
Yep, I could agree with that.
So now that we agree, I go back to tomorrow, how do you go about doing, what are you going to do with that information? Because, and when we just did this about 5 minutes ago, you were like, your answer was, well, no, I don't have one singular focus.
Sure.
But we just disproved that.
Sure.
So now back to you. What are you going to do with this knowledge now?
By tomorrow, probably nothing at all.
Okay.
It might help me in 5 years.
All right.
I don't live on a day-to-day basis. You know, every day is a gift, and I believe that. And other than that, I mean, yeah, everything else I have planned out 5 years at least, maybe 2 years at the closest. But, right, to be a better person, that's not me worrying about me right now. That's me worrying about me whenever I feel like I've achieved being a better person, which is whenever I'm wise and whatever, and I could pass on all of my wisdom to kids, grandkids, or whoever else. Friends, family, younger peers.
Sorry, but you made me think of a quote. It's such a good quote. I can't think of it, but it's like, ah, man, it's like, I don't know if it relates to the eyes or not. It's like, the eyes are the gift. I don't remember. It's such a good quote, though. It's like, I don't know. It's like the eyes are a gift and it's present, or something like that. Or the present. It's
okay.
It's
That
good.
makes sense.
Well, it's good. It's
already
it's good wordplay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so you said you might not do anything about it tomorrow.
Yeah, probably not. Not tomorrow.
The better question is, and this is where I'm at in my life, what can I do about it? Because, yeah, it would take me a while. I can't do it tomorrow either.
To really hone something in. It takes a while to make a new habit. right? It takes at least a week.
Well, the better question I'm making, you're right, but the better question I'm making is I don't know what habit to instill to be able to.
I see.
So
we already know that you read a lot and you go to the gym daily, and then other than that, you just really work.
Well, the argument I'm making is that I like all this stuff, and it's definitely going to get me to my goal, but it's still blinding me to a lot of life or whatever. So, yeah, what could or can I even do about that? I mean, this is probably a conversation we should have when we're not on the podcast, because this takes a lot of thought here.
Yeah, I know.
It'd be really hard to figure out. I can't figure it out.
Deep diving into very personal things of, well, what exactly do you want to see change?
Damn, that's a good one.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you want to see change? Of course, you want to be able to spot the one gorilla pounding his chest while you're watching.
I'm glad you brought it to that.
5 people pass a ball back and forth. But I don't know. Does that necessarily mean that there's always something going on in the background? I mean, I guess there is.
Yes.
This world is crazy.
100%.
The Matrix.
You're so right, dude.
Yeah. So, well, you got to find out where that gorilla is, that standout thing that you feel like you've missed, and then once you visualize that and understand that, then you can say, okay, this is what I want to catch more often of. That butterfly or that whatever that you might have missed that one day.
The best conclusion I came to is that I just potentially would have to just take a couple steps back from my ambition, but not in a bad way.
Good. I'm glad that you mentioned not in a bad way, because
no, obviously not.
I agree with you, but a lot of people will say that. Oh, I guess I'm just dreaming too big, or oh, I'm just this. It's like, well, now let's not get drass here and jump off of the ledge, because it could be something very small. And
you're right.
It's almost so minute that it's almost like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I missed this part. Here's watching Titanic 5 times and catching the one scene that you missed before somehow. Freaking most boring movie in the world.
That's a great movie, dude.
Oh my god,
I love that movie. And here's where you're right, and where we are kind of a little bit separate from people our age. When most people say, "Oh, I want to take a step back from my ambition," typically what someone our age is probably saying, or maybe even more so the average person is saying, is, I want to take back from my ambition and do a bunch of stupid crap and replace it.
Or do something completely different. Right now you might have a good job and everything will work out just fine if you take your time and just let it do what it does. Or, oh, well, I'm not getting the gratification that I feel like I earn or that I deserve, so then you just quit that good job and go and do something else, because now it's more exciting, but it doesn't lead to as much success as you had on the way. If you were a little more patient, you know what I'm saying? So that is people in our generation that like to do that kind of thing. They'll take one small thing and then change the larger picture. It's like, well, you didn't really need to restart the canvas. You just need to paint a couple of different colors here. You'd have been fine,
So, I love to listen to Jordan Peterson. I've listened to him even more so a lot lately.
Good.
He talks a lot about sacrifice.
Good.
So and when I started this journey that I'm on, the newer journey that I'm on, is, for example, I started sacrificing a bunch of crap, right? And then,
as you should.
One thing I've noticed is, must be a fact, is that one, I sacrificed the wrong stuff, which is crazy to think.
It is a fact, though, because whenever you're going through a learning curve, do you know what you're gonna do? No, you don't know the shortcuts and the tips and the tricks that you need to know whenever you're just getting into something. I mean, it's the reason why you start riding a bike with training wheels. So, of course you have to get rid of the wrong things first. Then you say, I wish I didn't get rid of that. Put that thing back, and then let's move something over here.
Well, Tyler's right. And what he's saying is exactly what I'm saying. We're both saying it in a different way. What I'm about to say is, and you just said this, the only way I realized that I sacrificed the wrong stuff is because after I sacrificed it, and let time pass, I still don't have what I was trying to achieve through my sacrifice.
Sure.
So that must mean that I've sacrificed the wrong things.
Yep.
So now back to where I was going. I was listening to a lot of Jordan Peterson. I'm really willing to sacrifice anything, more or less, not in a bad way. But I'm willing to sacrifice a lot. And so I'm trying to think, all right, well, what should or do I need to sacrifice? And again, right, all we could do is, throw a bunch of mud on the wall and hope something sticks.
Sure.
So what I think I need to sacrifice is my strong, obsessive desire and ambition that is holding me back. It's holding me back. And it sounds so counterintuitive.
I know.
And
it definitely does.
It does. And Jordan Peterson made this argument, too, where, like, he was working with lawyers, and they had to work a certain amount of hours in a year, and he went to them and was like, hey, you know, if you take more time off, it'll allow you to work more. And they're like, what? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, right?
And for some of them, that turned out to be true.
Of course.
They would take, like, some time off every 2 months, and it would allow them to work longer and more hours, be more productive.
Sure, you could do, like, 3 12-hour days and then have, like, 4 days off out the week or something like that, right? It does make a lot of sense. Before I do forget, because we started this episode on a biblical type of topic.
Oh, don't get me started.
Jordan Peterson did a really good lecture over all of the Bible, as far as Exodus all the way to Revelation. You can find it all on YouTube.
Yeah, it is good.
It is a good one.
Jordan Peterson's has many lectures. They all stem from the book that he wrote, Maps of Meaning, and there's a lot of good stuff. I don't want to talk about it. Jordan Peterson is now my favorite human. He's my favorite person on this planet.
He's a great thinker, and yeah, I don't want to talk about too much of what he's said or done because it's all out there. You guys can all find it for yourselves. Just experience it for yourself. But I don't want to say too much on him because of the fact that I don't want to pay him little or too less of the homage that he's really deserved.
I could talk a lot about him.
Yeah, I'm sure. We both could, but yeah, I don't feel like it's going to hold the weight that it really deserves to be held.
I could definitely do him justice.
Yeah.
I can definitely do some justice, but I want to save a lot of it for in the future. But, so back real quick. So, yeah, he helped me realize this, and I could be wrong. I'm going to give it a try, or try to give it a try, and see if it helps me out. Helps me out, because, yeah, it seems so counterintuitive. Like, imagine if our goal was to drive to the gas station, and we found out potentially that if we were to go the long way, it would be a better route. Like, it just doesn't sound like it makes sense.
Well, I think it would be much more scenic, and then maybe the conversations would open up in the car more, and you could maybe learn something new or see something you wouldn't have seen if you just went the quick route. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely agree that there are positives in, slowing things down, sometimes taking a longer route, There's a lot of positives in it.
Well, I don't want to make my route longer. For my goal.
I agree. I was just saying on that topic, the car ride idea.
Yeah.
But I definitely agree with you, and I know what you're saying, but when it comes so difficult because, like I said, I mean, everybody's life and their routines are so much different. You don't know which part of your routine you should change to make something better or whatever, When it comes to, it's all trial and error. Everything in life is just a test.
When it comes to mythology and sacrifice, Carl Jung will say that like, oh, you need to go wherever you least want to look to find what you need, essentially, right? So that's super simple. It's like when you're a kid and you're scared of the dark. So to find your strength, you got to go into the dark.
You got
to go look in the closet.
The dark didn't kill you.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
So when I was going through all this trying to figure out, a couple of months ago, right? Let's say even God from heaven spoke to me and said, "Hey, Zay, you need to give up some of your ambition's not the right word, but you need to stop focusing so much on achieving your goal because it's stopping you." I'd have been like, even if he said that, I'd have been like, "Yeah, right. You're not right. That's wrong. Right? That can't be right. That can't help me." But now,
imagine how Noah felt whenever he came to him and was like, "You need to build this ark." He's like, "I don't even know where to get wood or how to build a boat."
Super interesting.
So he took it on, though, still. He sacrificed everything.
Exactly.
I don't know what the heck he did before he was known as Noah's Ark, but
it's a good one.
But yeah, I mean, you got to believe that he sacrificed everything because God came down and told him what to do. He said, "Listen, I'm going to flood this planet, and you need to build a boat. It is now on you to gather everybody and save all their lives." Holy smokes.
Speaking of Jordan Peterson, I got my next topic.
All right.
So he helped me discover this. It was Saturday, around like 6:30. I don't even know where I was. To Tyler's point, I can't do this probably justice, but I'm going to bring it up, and hopefully Tyler will know what I mean, and you guys will know what I mean, and Tyler will say a lot of smart things about it. So what he was talking about, in a nutshell, was when something really profoundly bad happens, really bad, an absolute travesty, a tragedy, really bad happens, you're kind of blind to it.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I won't say what personally happened to me where I realized that was true.
Okay.
But for you,
sure,
it was when I called you a couple days ago about the thing online.
I'm keeping up.
So when that happened, I couldn't even see it. Like, it was right in front of me and I couldn't see it.
Oh, I see what you're saying now.
So,
makes sense, yeah. You're like, what? I can't believe this is happening right now.
Yes.
Right? It's almost hard to even fathom, even though it's true, it's here, it's now, and this is what it is. I definitely know what you mean. Well,
I'm glad to hear that.
Dude,
I'm so glad to hear that.
Imagine being, like, my mom, I think, was in her mid-30s, I would like to think, maybe, when 9/11 happened, right?
I'm glad you wrote that. Dude, you're a freaking genius.
And she was looking at the TV, and she was like, there's no way this should happen. There was no way. And we still celebrate this day every year, September 11th.
Guys, Tyler's an absolute genius. Tyler's smarter than I am. I think you're smarter than me, dude. Dude, that's a huge compliment.
I don't know about
that.
I
think myself pretty smart. Tyler's smarter than me. It's just a fact. Because the reason why he is because, to me personally, his mind is just more open than mine is. Tyler's mind is like a freaking ocean. It's amazing.
I'm drowning in it.
Dude, it's genius. So that's the exact metaphor that Jordan Peterson used to explain this point.
Well, he brought it to 9/11?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
And
I didn't even watch this episode that he's talking about, but...
And again, right, I'm not going to do the justice, but... So he was saying that, right? He's like, all right, so when the Twin Towers fell, what happened? People are like, well, the towers fell.
People are in disbelief.
The towers fell.
Happened?
And the point he was making was basically, what were the towers connected to? And they were connected to a lot of stuff. For example, whatever.
The World Trade Center, which was...
Well, like security.
Yeah.
I guess it had a big financial impact. It's tied to more fear. Like, oh, what if more terrorists do more things? Basically, what it was tied to was everything: the present, the past, and the future.
Now,
so like when you saw that happening, like all this is going through your mind.
Well, it changed airport security forever.
Exactly, it was tied to everything.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why it blinds you to it actually happening, because you're like abstracting and like seeing all the future and all this fear. You're seeing all of this.
You're seeing all the test of time at once.
Exactly. So you can't see the actual event happening at the same time.
Your mind just starts racing, and you start thinking about what it's going to lead up to.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of fear. I agree. They didn't know obviously a big war did come out of it, but at that point in time, right then, standing in your shoes, at that moment, you had no idea what was happening. In the next 5 minutes, dude, of everyone's life, everybody agreed with that.
So it's interesting because what that means, in a sense, is that like chaos is everything until it becomes something, which that's something we call order.
Yes.
So I just found it so interesting because a point he was he was kind of connected to like alchemy, for example, that like Carl Jung did, and apparently alchemy is what, like the transmutation of like one element to another element.
Correct.
Or whatever. So that's exactly how the world is, because chaos is all of this past, future, present, pain, suffering, unknowns. Nasty, all this huge cloud of negativity.
Sure.
and no,
every why question with no answer.
Yeah, with no.
Basically,
well, I was gonna say with no temporal freaking boundaries. Any fear you have, you fear here, now, and then.
5 times 5,
Like let's say you're scared of snakes.
Dude,
you're scared of snakes. Are you?
Yeah, dude.
Perfect.
Serpents are.
So you're scared of snakes in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, if there was one there, in 20 years from now, that pain, that chaos has no time tied to it.
No, dude. If there was a snake right here, right now, I wouldn't be sitting right here, right now.
Exactly.
Absolutely not. No way. That makes my skin crawl.
So it's like transmuting that cloud of chaos that's now present and future, and like constructing that, like with words and stuff. Well, with words.
Sorry. Yeah.
Like constructing that with words, and that is like kind of how the alchemy kind of ties to like life. And I don't know. It was like this huge epiphany for me. It was really crazy for me.
Well, no, it's definitely true.
There's this. Sorry, I'm going off here, but there's this thing in the Bible. I think it was Moses when he was like leading them through deserts, and a bunch of them were dying by snakes. This is in the Jordan Peterson lecture. A bunch of them were dying by snakes, and apparently God said to them to make a big pole that had like a snake around it, and to stare at it. And just digress for a sec. Apparently, that's the same symbol that we use now for like hospitals. That
True.
Yeah, that Bible.
Everywhere.
Yeah, is now the same symbol. Yeah, for hospitals.
Ambulance trucks and everything. Yeah, if you have Blue Cross Blue Shield.
I have no idea. I haven't been in the hospital in years, but
no, that's their logo.
Oh, okay.
Google Blue Cross Blue Shield on your phone right now, and you'll see it. It's literally a cross with two snakes going up it. Blue Cross Blue Shield.
So it's
I don't know if they're still that, but probably.
And I've only touched on this a little bit, and it has to do with like what's it called? Exposure therapy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like whatever the psychoanalysts do to and they say you don't overcome your fear, or you don't learn to be less fearful. You learn to become more brave.
Sure.
Because it's impossible. It's impossible to make people more fearful. You can just exceed the brave past the fear, and then they no longer feel the fear. So apparently that's what God was teaching in that Bible verse.
Okay, big
like you're scared of these snakes. The only way to not be scared of these snakes is to put a pole in the ground and stare at a snake. And Jordan Peterson's awesome. I just love that dude. I love that dude. But it's
symbolism.
Interesting. Yeah,
symbolism means a lot. You know,
so
like now people can't look at a pyramid on the $1 bill and not see the glowing eye above it. You know what I'm saying? Like symbolism is everywhere, and it's unbelievable. Symbolism is something that's just buried into your brain from like I don't want to say kindergarten, maybe even kindergarten, but super young, definitely elementary school, till your whole life, just forever. Like once you see something, then every time you see it again, you're going to relate it with that one thing. Symbolism, yeah, it's everywhere. Symbolism's crazy. I study a lot of symbols and symbolism. Donut.
Well, for symbolism, I think they would kind of call it like an archetype type of thing. And I mean, how they usually define that is like if you were to make a story.
Sure.
Let's say the story is well, yeah, the easy one, the hero archetype, right? So let's say we were going to write a story of a hero, and we were going to ask 1,000 people to write a story about the hero. Just whatever is in common with all those stories is the archetype of a hero.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's basically how it relates to a symbol, because if all of us come up with the same set of things that are the same, then we can now make a symbol out of it.
I think it's programming.
No. Absolutely not. But we'll wrap this up with the last thing that I have written.
Alright.
It's Hermetic principles.
Okay.
I was dealing with this.
I love Hermes.
I was dealing with this about 3 months ago.
Freaking love Hermes Trismegistus, dude.
I'm putting all these together on the fly here, and I'm going to try to find a question in it. But
okay, good.
So for some context, the two principles I'm talking about is polarity and rhythm.
Okay, sure.
Polarity is North Pole to South Pole, hot and cold, happy, sad. Okay. Everyone gets polarity now?
Yep.
Okay, and then the rhythm is
something on tempo.
Almost.
Okay.
Is high tide, low tide, happy, sad, hot, cold. It's just
wherever it goes, it has to come back.
Yes, just the bounce back between polarity.
Okay, sure.
On whatever it is that you're talking about.
Sure.
Everything has polarity.
Yep.
happy, sad,
Sure.
night,
Everything,
day,
yeah.
sun, moon,
Bright, dark.
hot, cold. And then the rhythm is just the bounce back between the both of them.
Yep.
Because, right, everything vibrates, everything moves. So they're just bouncing from different sides of the polarity of the degrees. It's always somewhere in that, whatever. You can think of it like a number line.
Noise versus silence.
Yeah, everything's on a number line, and they just move back and forth on the number line.
Mm-hmm.
So where I'm going with this is the happy, sad one.
Okay, sure.
And what they talk about in the Kabbalion book
I love it.
is basically anytime you bounce to happy,
Yep.
you're going to bounce back to sad.
Of course.
Anytime you're at sad, you're going to bounce back to happy.
Yep.
So I've been trying, and it's been true. I've been noticing it.
Of course.
So I've been trying to freaking Aikido that, dude. I'm trying to stop that because apparently you can.
Of
Apparently
course, it's
you
called
can.
stoicism. But
I wouldn't go that far.
I was on my way here to, start this podcast and sit down and everything. I was thinking about emotions. I was like, man, you know what? I really hate emotions. And it's just funny that I didn't tell you that.
Yeah.
That was just in my mind. I even said it out loud while I was on my way. I was like, man, I really hate emotions. Like, I just wish that everything could just be emotionless for everybody all the time, right? But that wouldn't be a good thing, of course. That's not a good thing, and I shouldn't think that way. But it's just interesting to me that I thought that out loud to myself, then I share it with you, and the end of the episode comes to an emotion.
Yeah, well, emotion, I think emotion is...
I think it's poopy caca.
I think it's the most important thing. There's nothing more important than emotion.
Important thing. I think it's a whole bunch of malarkey, dude.
There's nothing more
Keep your
important than
emotions to
emotion.
yourself.
Without emotion...
I try on a regular basis to not show emotion. That's why I practice pan facing so much. And now I freaking mastered pan facing. I can look unenthused no matter how much fun anyone around me is having. I don't care. And I like to be that way. And I'm trying to master it even more so in stoicism.
Emotion... Without emotion, we wouldn't have any thoughts. Nietzsche said that thought was created to suppress emotion.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously it's different now because there's psychopaths too, right? Who have no emotion, but they still think.
I use words to let people know how I feel. My woman always asks me all the time. She's like, "Why don't you ever show yada yada or whatever?" I'm like, because I can tell you how I feel. I don't think it has to be an emotion on my face, my body stature, or anything like that. So I don't know. I like to use my words to really convey how I feel, how something made me feel, or the day I had. I don't know. I feel like words. You're not with me all day, so you're not going to understand my frustrations, my joys, my sads, my whatevers, right? All day. But I get home, and I don't just leave it blank, like, oh, my day was fine. I don't want to talk about it. No, I talk about it. It's my day. I talk about it. I share it. But while I'm sharing it, I'm like, yeah, that kind of bothered me. But, boom, I'm here now. So obviously if it bothered me for 5-10 minutes earlier, and now I'm here not crying to you about it, then it's fine. So that's why I don't like emotions so much. Or maybe the best part about emotions is that they only last 10 seconds, so you don't really have to care about it so much.
I mean, for people like Tyler, I feel like they rationalize their emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It's behind any rationality is a belief, right?
I agree.
Any rationality you have, there's a belief backed by that rationality, and then whatever that belief is has either pain or pleasure tied to it.
Sure.
And I feel like typically when people are rationalizing their emotion that has a belief, I feel it's typically people who are like that typically have some pain that is tied to that belief, so they try to rationalize. They try to cope.
Sure, coping.
And yeah, so like for example, if I was Tyler's partner and he was coming to me to talk to me about his emotions, I feel like he's potentially coping and not feeling because because you don't like to feel those emotions.
Yeah, no, I don't like feeling any emotion.
So I feel like, yeah. So if we're speaking about
I avoid excitement. I don't ride roller coasters and all that stuff. I don't even drive fast. Dirt bikes were brought to my place of work the other day. They're like, yeah, go rip it around. I can. You and I ripped dirt bikes before, like not even a year ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, that's too much fun for me. Straight up. I was like, guys, I really appreciate the offer, but you two have fun, and I'll watch you guys have fun.
I mean, we can psychoanalyze Tyler here.
Yeah, go for it.
But I feel like
It's here. It's up.
I feel like what you're saying. Hopefully, he would agree if this is true. What I hear you saying is that you feel like you don't deserve to be happy. That's what Tyler sounds like he's basically saying.
That's interesting.
That's what you're basically saying.
Don't deserve it.
Yeah, well, that's how you feel. You feel like you don't deserve to be happy. That's what you're saying, basically. What? Here.
No, I don't think that at all.
Well, here. Of course, I was going to say that. Here. Think if you had a son right there, and he told you that. He said, hey, Dad, I didn't want to ride fast in the dirt bike because I didn't want to have fun. Or whatever you just said.
Yeah, right?
What would you say to your kid?
I would look at him and crack up, because that sounds funny as hell coming from a little kid.
Well, it doesn't have to be a kid. I just meant someone who's not you that you cared for a lot.
Anybody, yeah.
Objectively,
Okay, sure.
What would you say? Be like, oh, hey.
Yeah, so that's super interesting. I guess. I don't know. Like, well, what would bring you to this inclination of thought to why now you don't want to?
What do you think they'd say?
I don't know what they're saying. That's super subjective. That's up to them.
Well, what they would say would be like, well, Dad, yeah, I just felt like, what they'd be trying to say, which I think Tyler's trying to say is, well, Dad, I felt like I didn't deserve to have fun. That's basically what they'd be saying.
Well, yeah, no, I don't know what they would say, and I don't know what would give them the reason to say that. But I was thinking about this. I was like, maybe I feel like I avoid the idea of having fun because I know it's so short period of time. It's so timed, It's like what? So you get 5 seconds, 10 minutes, 30 minutes of enjoyment.
All right, we'll be more direct with Tyler.
Yeah, sure.
It's 10 seconds.
Sure.
You feel like you don't deserve 10 seconds of fun? You're basically saying
10 seconds is over. And then what?
That wasn't the question. Do you feel like you deserve 10 seconds of fun?
Yes.
Then if that was true, then you would do it for 10 seconds.
Why?
But you're choosing not to because it's not true because Tyler doesn't fully deserve to have fun. That's what.
I guess no. Nope.
Do you agree?
I'm crazy. Yeah.
Because if it was true, then
you
would just hop on the bike for 10 seconds and had fun.
and popped the wheelie and got in the office and said thank you.
Yeah, 10 seconds, boom.
10 seconds, I did my thing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't enjoy time like that.
Guys, this is unscripted. But so why, Tyler? Why don't you feel you don't deserve to have fun, dude?
I don't know.
How much bad have you done? You're not a super malicious person, dude.
No, I'm not malicious at all.
Well, that's why I would imagine
any way that anyone that knows me would ever describe me as to be malicious.
I imagine that's how most people would. People who probably feel like they don't deserve to have fun is because they feel really guilty about some malicious stuff they've done.
Super guilty. But no, I don't walk with guilt.
So why?
I don't know. I really don't know. I never really deeped it. I just look at it as, the offer's there. Okay, cool. I like having the offer. I like that much. I like the ability of the free will to say no.
Alright.
I don't know.
Let's psychoanalyze
Super weird.
that.
Yeah, I don't ride roller coasters. My girl got me on a roller coaster at the last town fair. Yeah, heart racing and everything. I was laughing and smiling. It was fun. Yeah, sure. But then once I got off, I was like, okay, that was fun.
I know how to psychoanalyze this.
Okay, sure.
So, having fun for 10 seconds and not having fun for 10 seconds, where is the power in both for you personally? Let's start with the one that you are inclined to.
Okay, sure.
You would incline to say no to the 10 seconds of fun.
Right.
Where's the power in that? Only you can give this answer.
Yeah, the fact that I said no. Everyone's having fun, and of course it would be easy to jump on the bandwagon, as I'll call it, and jump in there and have fun.
How does that make you more powerful?
Well, I don't know if it makes me powerful or not. Maybe it makes me a wuss because I'm too afraid to have fun.
I'm leading that it does. I'm assuming
that I'm going to be Superman because I said no one time. And
yeah,
I didn't laugh so hard I peed my pants.
Yeah. Well, no. Try to be serious with me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like there's some truth in this. The truth I'm saying.
Well,
is
I definitely don't think that I'm too mature to have fun or anything like that. I don't want anyone to be under that impression. Like I'm too cool for school type of thing. It's not that. It's just
what it is. It's will to power. Everything's will to power.
Yeah.
So I agree with you that when you say no.
Maybe I feel powerful in the moment.
Well, I know
avoiding this thing.
I know you do it to make you feel powerful, or to exercise power, or something to do with will to power. The point I'm trying to understand is both could give you will to power. You can have will to power by choosing, exercising your power to have fun for 10 seconds and getting power that way. Or you could get a will to power by choosing to say no and get power that way.
Sure.
In your brain somewhere, your subconscious has...
I avoid excitement.
Well, in your brain somewhere, your subconscious has weighed out both of those and chosen this one to be higher powered than this one.
Well, the one that I said no to keeps my heart rate lower for a longer period of time. And that I like. I don't like excitement. Like, I'm not a thrill seeker or anything like that. I went through that phase of my life, and I found out that's what I'm not.
Jeez. So, not to put Tyler down in any way, and to be fair, this is his words and not mine.
Sure.
And another great expression is, right, people will show you who you are. You know, you just got to believe them. It's a good expression, right? And with what he just said, if you're really listening hard here, and again, right, last preface, I'm not putting Tyler down. I'm not putting you down.
No, I'm not.
But
Guys,
what you said about that. Well, what you said was that you were a wuss.
I guess
remember
so.
You said that?
Well, because that would, yeah, I do remember, but that would be because that would be what other people would be inclined to think. Oh, he's not going to rip this dirt bike because he's scared. Oh, he's not going to ride this roller coaster because he's scared. No. Well, I believe I didn't want to do that because it kept my heart rate at a lower pace, someplace I can maintain it, and I maintain my own personal free thinking and things like that. I don't know. I mean, instead of going and having fun, I could have been learning something, listening to a Jordan Peterson podcast or something, call a friend and talk about something that maybe they did or something like that.
Why did you say the word wuss about yourself?
I don't know, because, well, wuss
do you think there was some truth in
thing.
Do you think there was any truth in that?
No, I just think that's what other people would say if they saw me, like, saying, no, I don't want to ride this roller coaster or rip that dirt bike. They would say, oh, he's a wuss, he's scared.
But you called yourself a wuss.
I don't think I'm a wuss, no.
But you called yourself a wuss.
Because that's what I feel like other people would think.
Huh.
I feel like not scared of.
Huh. Interesting. I don't know. I mean, there's a really hard balance in here because I'm certainly not calling Tyler a wuss at all. What I'm understanding right now is that, and what I was saying earlier, either way, he has a way to feel powerful with any decision he chooses. Yes, I will do that for 10 seconds and that'll make me feel powerful, or no, I won't do that for 10 seconds and that makes me feel powerful.
And that saying no and standpoint would make you feel powerful.
Either one would.
Well, I agree with going through with your options. So say you say no, and then you're like, all right, you guys went, you did it, you guys are safe. This would then be taking away the fear factor, I suppose, saying, okay, you did it, and you were safe, so now I'll join in. Yeah, I don't know. I don't do that. I don't really go back on things, if you would say. So, like...
Hold on. No. I'm trying to get somewhere. You don't have to defend yourself. I know you're not a wuss.
Yeah, no, I know that.
And I know...
I was just trying to continue on the deep, and sometimes you just got to, like, let it rip at the mouth if you got to really kind of figure something out. And I don't really know. I don't know where to go from here.
Well, I do. I really want to try to figure this out. So
I just know I try to avoid excitement at all costs because I live that lifestyle and I'm all set.
Work with me for a sec.
Yeah.
So, as we said, either option makes him feel powerful.
Sure.
Somewhere in his brain, probably on the subconscious level, they've weighed out both options and determined that one option makes him feel more powerful than the other. So he will freely choose, free choice, free will. There's no such thing. But he will freely choose that one, which in this scenario is Tyler saying no to the 10 seconds of fun. So the only thing I could think of was what I was doing. Where's the power in saying no? Let's work with that for a sec.
Yeah.
Your first answer was you basically just said the power in no. The power I get of saying no is just saying no. That was the answer you gave. Mm-hmm. That answer's not good enough.
Okay. My question is for who? Just good enough in general?
But, yeah, it's not good enough in general.
Okay.
That's like defining something with the word in itself. Okay. What does it mean to be hot? Well, it means to be hot. Yeah. That's not a good definition. Where's the power in saying no? Well, the power is in me answering with the word no. It's not good enough. So this is where you have to come up with the answer. Where or how does saying no make you feel powerful, other than the two letters?
How does it make you feel?
Well, I already know. He already answered that. He related to security.
Yeah.
He related to security.
I can agree with that. Yep.
You did. You said, well, because one makes my heart rush a lot, which has to do with anxiety. It could potentially make me feel nervous. I mean, psychoanalyzing yourself here. I mean, what does that sound like?
Chaos. And I don't like chaos. That's what it sounds like.
Coming out of here, what kind of people don't like chaos?
Control freaks.
Who and what type of and why are people?
I would say.
I'll even use. No, I'll agree with you. And I'm leading Tyler here.
Yeah, I could ever be wrong.
Why
are just control freaks? So
why are control freaks scared to give up control? See the word I use, right? Scared.
Yeah, scared. Control. Why are they afraid to give up control? Because then they're out of control.
So the main point is that they're scared and they're afraid.
Sure.
So maybe when you use the word wuss, maybe
I'm a wuss.
Yeah, dude. I mean, if you're following along, we're just using Tyler's words here.
Mm-hmm.
You describe someone who is choosing to say no because they're worried or scared about their security, or if you don't want to use the word worried or scared, they at least feel some sort of anxiety towards lack of security and a fast heart race.
Yep.
So they choose to not put themselves in that situation, which you call chaos.
Yep.
So they are avoiding chaos.
Yep.
Because they're worried of the security.
Yep.
That'll make them feel anxious.
Right.
Isn't that someone who was, in a sense?
Sure. Yeah, I definitely agree.
Boom.
Hey guys.
Psychoanalytic 101,
That
baby.
makes me a wuss. I'm alright with it.
I don't go on roller coasters either, dude. I'm scared.
Dude, just to run up on me on the sidewalk, because I ain't no wuss.
No, Tyler's not a wuss. He's not a wuss at all. But, we can use it, right, just to prove, I'm trying to really show Tyler as his friend here that I don't think he's a wuss, I'm not calling him a wuss, but just to abstract it, right? Think if we were reading a story, and the main character said, hey, basically, I am not going to say yes to chaos. You'd probably call that main character or what?
Yeah, right.
You probably wouldn't even finish reading the story.
Right.
You'd be like,
well,
nothing's going to happen in the story.
Maybe subconsciously that's the reason why I threw that word in there.
It is why.
It's like, well, other people visualize me as a wuss. Well, then I guess we can both agree that, yeah, sure, fine, I'm a wuss.
So you guys just got to witness a Freudian slip. That's exactly what Sigmund Freud, his coined patent term is a Freudian slip. Basically, when you say the truth, but it slips out on accident. And boom. Great job, T. I appreciate that.
Yeah, dude. No, I ain't scared. I ain't scared.
Yeah, I appreciate your honesty. That was awesome.
Yeah, dude. I don't get on roller coasters, man. I fall out the freaking seat, dude. I'm small.
Guys, I hope this was an entertaining thing. You got anything you want to wrap this up with? I mean, you can call me a wuss if you want to. I'm scared of a whole bunch of stuff.
No, I'm not here to name call anybody, man. We're only here to make people provoke thought and things like that. Listen when people are talking to you, man. They'll usually get themselves away while they're, word vomiting all over the place, trying to defend themselves and back into a corner like a scared cat. But no, I'm not a wuss. Isaiah's not a wuss, and
well, we are. Just it depends, right?
Well, no, I don't, because I still disagree. I don't think that that's one situation you can put me into that I'm like, I don't feel so comfortable with getting on this thing you call a slingshot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I almost said, I don't want to go to the moon today. I work on the ground, and I'm good here. That's what I'm saying. And yeah, I didn't rip a dirt bike the other day, but we both ripped dirt bikes together like a year ago. I'm definitely not afraid of them or anything like that, but with my age, guys, I'm getting older, man. I know that, he's only in your 20s and stuff. I'm old as heck, guys. Chill.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Peace.